Greetings loyal subscribers and honoured guests. Time for another instalment of Covertape Chaos Zzapped, and we're up to episode 23 this time. We're looking at the games and demos that were included on the tape that came with issue 78 of the original Zzapped run. The big story on the cover was Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which was an absolutely massive movie, putting multiple different catchphrases into the mouths of those who saw it, and amazing them with some truly huge advances in digital effects technology, stuff that would change the way movies were made forever. Now the game is here, the team have reviewed it, and there is a playable demo on the tape. Is it any good? We'll soon see. It was a pretty big month for game releases all around, as this issue also brought us sneak previews of Battle Command, Robocop 3, a puzzle game called Swap, and Speedball 2. Elsewhere in the magazine there was a joystick roundup and something called the C65 Forum. Interesting. Anyway, it's high time we got on with looking at the tape. We kick things off on side A with the first instalment in Beyond Software's Spy vs Spy trilogy, a very highly regarded two-player game based on characters that were taken from Mad Magazine. White Spy and Black Spy are both frantically searching through an office building for 4 items that they need in order to complete their mission, along with a briefcase. Once they have managed to gather up all of these items, they then need to find the airport and make their escape. In order to slow down the other enemy spy, they can use the trapulator to leave booby traps on the top of doors, within filing cabinets and so on. Should they come face to face with each other, they can also just smack each other with a stick until one of them dies. This isn't permanent though. A slain spy will reappear and can continue to try and disrupt the opposition. Killing a spy who is holding all of the items will force them to drop them, so one tactic you could employ is to let them do all the hard work of finding everything, then kill them and snatch the victory at the last second. I found the controls of Spy vs Spy a bit fiddly to get used to. I struggled to select any of my traps, so I'm afraid I'm not playing the game very well in my gameplay. In fact, the attract mode does a better job of showing off the game than I can, because the computer plays the game against itself and makes full use of the trapulator. I do like the concept and the graphics are quite nicely done too. In fact, I think it's a pretty cleverly designed game, and the formula they've come up with definitely works, because they made the same game twice more and just changed up the setting, as we will see in upcoming episodes of this series. I kind of wish I had got into this game properly back when I had friends who would have played it with me. Strangely, it doesn't appear that Zzapped ever reviewed the first game in the series, but if they had, I imagine that they would have quite enjoyed it. Also on side A is a playable demo of the first level of the officially licensed Terminator 2 game, but I admit I did encounter some problems with this demo. No matter what I tried, I just couldn't get the joystick controls to work. Changing ports didn't help, and neither did changing the joystick I was using. So I just had to sit there and watch Robert Patrick's T-1000 pummel Arnie's reprogrammed T-800 to death in a corridor. What makes matters worse is that you only get one chance to beat the demo before you are faced with a 6-minute load again. After trying a couple of times, I had to admit defeat and track down some footage of the same level elsewhere on YouTube where it was working. Regardless of whether I got to play the game or not, I don't think this opening level makes a great first impression. It's just 2 blokes hitting each other really. The more exciting stuff, like helping Sarah Connor escape from the mental institution, is later on. While I really loved the movie at the time, I had very little interest in playing the C64 game. In fact, I bought and quite enjoyed the Game Boy version instead. The opening level may not make the best impression, but the Zzapped reviewers have awarded the finished game a score of 89%, saying it was a huge and professionally executed movie tie-in, rarely brilliant but always competent, and benefiting greatly from the cartridge ease of play. I agree that playing the game on a cartridge would have been a much more pleasant experience, as trying to get through it all on a tape multi-load would have been hell. Over on side B, we begin with a public domain title called Game Master, which is essentially an updated take on Pong, except with 2 balls and a whole raft of different power-ups, including an extended bat and missiles that launch at you. The AI of the computer player is very good, and I didn't manage to beat him during my time spent with the game, but I did manage to warm up a bit and score a few points after a while. If both balls come at you from different angles, it can be very difficult to catch both of them at the same time. I think this is quite a well presented game with decent graphics and sound, and the back controls well with the joystick. Like I said, it is pretty tough going against the computer, but this could be a fun game with another human being. This one was never reviewed by Zzapped. We cap things off with the sequel to last issue's Lords of Midnight, entitled Doomdarks Revenge. This is essentially more of the same, except you have a few more options that you didn't last time, and the difficulty level at the start of the game seems to have been relaxed a bit. Last time I managed to get my main characters slain by wolves within minutes of setting off, thus dooming the world. This time Luxor the Moon Prince seemed to be much more adept at combat, defeating wolves, dragons and trolls easily. Though maybe I just got lucky with the secret dice rolls, who knows. The wizard chap you control in this one fared less well, getting killed by trolls while exploring some dark tunnels. Once again, Zzapped raved about this one, giving it a score of 95% and summing up with an addictive and compelling episode to a great saga. In the end, I think my pick of the tape goes to Game Master, with Spy vs Spy coming a close second, though both of these are really best played in two-player mode, so I wasn't getting the most out of them really. That brings another episode to a close though, so thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, leaving a like or sharing on social media if you enjoyed it. Join me again for episode 24 in a few weeks' time, and in the meantime, take care.